Guys, that was a doozy.
Yeah.
I just said doozy on television. What happened last night, Shannon?
Well, from the standpoint, Skip, it was a really ugly game. All those penalties, 26 total penalties, 236 yards. And I think that's a byproduct, Skipper. We're seeing fewer and fewer of the players actually play in the preseason. So basically, game one is starting to look like a preseason, the third or fourth preseason, well, third or second or third preseason ball game.
Yep.
But what happened, the quickest way to ensure that you'll lose a ball game, Skip, is to turn the football over. The second way, and a fast way to lose a ball game, is to kick short field goals. And that's what we've seen from the Atlanta Falcons is that over the next 2-3 weeks, they should work on nothing but red zone. Because what we saw, Skip, last year, they had an opportunity to win the game, 4 cracks inside the 5-yard line, and they come up empty-handed. Last night, 7 cracks. And they come up, they kick a field goal, they get snuffed on one, and then Matt Ryan throws the ball up in where's he throwing the ball, Skip? Does he think Julio is Kareem? That he's going to be able to just tiptoe and get the ball? Come on, Matt. I thought Matt Ryan played terrible, Skip. To be honest with you, I thought he played really bad. Is there something wrong with it? Because it seemed like it'd be a struggle every time he tried to throw the football down the field. If you remember, he threw a ball down the middle of the field to Julio. The ball came up short and in the middle of the field, so I thought his arm got hit because the ball was so short. And then when they replayed it, I'm like, no one touched him. He played really bad. He has to do a better job of avoiding these sacks. Sacks are taking him out of field goal range. I would have thought he learned his lesson from the Super Bowl. Has it first down, 20-yard line with Julio, and he take a terrible sack in the Super Bowl, but he didn't learn his lesson. All plays aren't created equal, Skip. All turnovers are not created equal. When you turn the football over, where you turn the football over at is different. Sacks are not created equal. You can't. All the sacks are taking place when you're in plus territory. You can't take sacks in that situation like that. They just gave you $100 million, guaranteed $130 million contract, and he's making plays. He's making mistakes, as if he's a second or third year quarterback. This is unacceptable from you, Matt Ryan. The Falcons expect better from you. I expect better from you. You're an MVP, a former MVP. Skip, he can't play like this and hope the Falcons are to win ball games. This was a dismal performance by him last night. I'll talk about his offensive coordinator after you.
You love you some Matt Ryan because Matt Ryan used to be your neighbor in Atlanta.
He moved.
GA,
We
right?
moved. Yeah.
You moved to L.A. and he moved somewhere around Atlanta, right?
Yes, he did.
And yet, once upon a time, you actually picked Matt Ryan to beat Tom Brady in a Super Bowl. And it looks like he should have up 28-3.
Yes.
That's Matt Ryan, right?
Yeah.
So, big picture, I agree with you about ugly game, penalty marred. I thought the 45-minute rain delay sort of knocked both offenses out of rhythm where they never could find it. I'm with you. They don't play enough in the preseason. Defense is still way ahead of offense at this stage of the game, especially on opening Thursday night. But I can't believe I'm saying this. My bottom line was that my guy, Nick Foles, outplayed Matt Ryan. And I can't believe I'm saying that because Nick Foles wasn't very good either.
Yeah.
But at least he had a QBR of 26, which is not very good, to Matt Ryan's 12. I can make a strong case that was the worst game Matt Ryan's ever played in his career. It's definitely the worst game he's played in the last 2 years, one of which was an MVP year.
Well, the Patriots are asking, where was that Nick Foles in the Super Bowl? The one we saw last night.
I agree. But Matt Ryan completed 49% of his passes last night? How do you do that? And again, I thought your guy, Carson Wentz, got a break last night because Nick Foles wasn't anywhere near the extraordinary Nick Foles that we saw back-to-back in the NFC Championship game in the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
So
he's more like Nick Foles, not Superman.
Okay, but Nick Foles, by the way, he went into that game 61 touchdown passes in his regular season career to only 29 interceptions. That's pretty good. 8 touchdowns to only 1 interception in the playoffs. That's pretty good. As a starter, 33-21. That's counting the win last night. And sometimes when I watch Nick Foles, I think I might have to dust off my Tebow slogan because all he does is win. I don't know how he does it. He just wins. I don't know. He made a couple of more plays than Matt Ryan made. So, bottom line on Matt Ryan. He's a really nice guy. Met him, been around him. There's no better guy than Matt Ryan. But he's still that same guy that I can't quite figure out how he won the MVP. He's still that same guy that I do not trust to make the play to win the game, especially a Super Bowl game when you give him a 28-3 lead on Tom Brady. And he's still that guy whose body language I never quite trust in the pocket because he still looks a little skittish, to your point, and he'll still take the wrong sack at the wrong time in the wrong red zone at the wrong moment, right?
Wow.
It's like, what are you doing? And then last night, I don't know if he's got camp arm where he just threw too many balls in camp, but that was soft arm stuff last night.
Everything seemed like it was a struggle.
Right?
Yes.
And his completions to Julio were timing routes where he would just fling it, hoping that Julio broke back to the ball.
Right.
But did you see many passes with much mustard?
No, I did not.
I didn't see it.
No.
I was saying, who is this guy? He was throwing it softer than Nick Foles was throwing it.
He's got it. And the thing is, right before the last drive, Julio ran a speed out. Matt was so late with the ball. Matt, you know he's going to hit 10, roll to 12. You got to throw that ball 1, 2, 3, 4, and boom, it's out of your hand. Skip, what was he doing?
So the Eagles were trying to give it away.
They were.
And that kid, he's a second-year kid. This is the first time he's ever actually played in a real game, named Trey Sullivan's a special teams kid. Remember what he did on that punt?
Yeah.
He stepped on the football. I don't even know what he was thinking of. He went to Mighty Shepherd's College somewhere in West Virginia, but he's just some...
They don't punt. They probably didn't punt at that school.
They probably didn't punt. It's D2. But he steps on the football. It's incomprehensibly dumb. And all of a sudden, you give Matt Ryan a late scoring chance that looked like it had just flipped the momentum, right? And what does Matt Ryan do? He kind of goes nowhere, and then off his back foot, he flings an interception up toward Julio that Julio said he lost in the lights. I don't know, but that was at the ball game.
It looked like Matt Ryan lost it in the light because he the one that threw it. Julio was way behind.
What are you doing?
Skip, they were 1 for 5 in the red zone. When targeting Matt Ryan, when targeting Julio Jones in the red zone since last year, they're 1 for 20.
1 for 20?
Julio Jones.
20? So, remember, at the end of the game, he doesn't get 4 throws into the end zone. He gets 5. They called illegal contact on Jordan Hicks on 4th down. Whoever gets that call on the road at Philly on opening night, nobody's going to get that call. I just sat back in awe because it was pretty incidental to me. It was pretty ticky-tack.
And then Matt Ryan threw the ball 100 feet over the guy's head because they could have easily said
Doug Peters was trying to, but the contact occurred before he threw the football. So you get a bonus throw, right? And what happened? He threw it high and wide, and Julio went up and got it, but there was no way he's going to come down in bounds with it, right?
If you remember, Skip, I think it was 2nd down, they have Julio Jones in the slot, and he's double. You see Sanu. Sanu runs like he stutters the guy and runs the slant route. But Matt Ryan had already made his mind up. I'm throwing this ball to Julio, even though he can see they got it banjo coverage, what we call banjo bracket. They got him double team. They're playing him in and out. Take Sanu on the slant coming in behind him. The guy's going to run out of there, so basically use Julio as a clear. And now you got Sanu playing one-on-one. And come on, Matt Ryan. Skip, he's too seasoned of a guy. He's too good of a quarterback to make these kinds of mistakes in this situation. This is unacceptable for someone of his ilk.
He's an MVP?
MVP. Just 2 years removed.
Yeah. So, I'm going to defend Nick Foles on one issue. That's degree of difficulty, because last night, Matt Ryan has Julio Jones, who you put at the top of the list, right? Don't you have him at the top of the list? So he's got the best receiver in pro football, and he does have Sanu, who I've always really liked, and he did add Calvin Ridley, right? Ridley
did he play last night?
He played, but he didn't catch any balls, but he got a couple targets. I thought he should have had 1 catch, but he didn't hang on. But the point is, those are 3 weapons that the truth is that Nick Foles doesn't have. Because you want to talk about missing someone, you don't think they miss Alshon Jeffrey? I want to make the case that people have lost perspective. Alshon Jeffrey last year helped make Carson Wentz, and he also helped make Nick Foles in the postseason.
Yes.
Because he is a stud with huge radius, long arms. He was Anquan Bolden to Joe Flacco in the playoffs last year, and he did it all year long. That was a crucial move by Howie Roseman to go get him and add him to a receiver group that was average at best. And all of a sudden last night, what was it? Aguilar or bust at the wideout.
Basically, because Zach Ertz couldn't hold on to anything last night.
So he's their best receiver. Zach Ertz is, right?
Yes.
I mean, we saw in Hard Knocks, remember the Michael Kendrick scouting report?
Yeah.
He said that the best receiver is that, what is he, 86?
86.
Or whatever. Yeah. So Zach Ertz actually dropped one ball, and I thought he dropped two balls actually
like 2 or
last
3.
night.
He did.
And remember, late in the first half, Nick Foles threw a pretty good ball to their other addition who didn't do much last night, who's Mike Wallace. But can we see that play? This was outrageous pass interference on this play, and this is at least 3 points at the end of the half, if not more. But I thought Foles threw a pretty good ball. Stepped up, got some juice on it. That looked good to me. And the DB is just hanging all over his arm, and he didn't even let Mike Wallace lift his arm up.
Well, here's the thing, Skip. What they teach you is just to stop, let the guy run through you, and get the pass interference. Yeah. He kept running, so you see the ball is underthrown.
But he's got it.
Right.
He's got his arm.
But that's what you do. Okay, you stop and let him run over the top of him.
I thought that was a 3-point play.
They could have called that.
All right. And then we got the Ertz drops, and in the end, they also missed LeGarrette Blount because they don't have a sledgehammer anymore.
No, they don't.
J.J. got loose a couple times and was pretty good and then scored the touchdown. But
he might should start over Sproles.
Maybe.
Yeah, Skip. He's a different dimension. Sproles is not a power back. He's more of a scat backish.
Yep.
He and Clement kind of in the same mold. They need somebody that can just turn around, hand the ball to, and he hammer it up in there and get you 4 or 5 yards.
Yep.
That's not what Darren Sproles is.
No. But Nick Foles did have one advantage last night. Not that Atlanta doesn't have a very good defense, but Philly's defense is hellacious good. Mm-hmm. I can make a case, and I said before the season started, I think they just might be the best defense in pro football right now because when you can go across that front with Brandon Graham and Fletcher Cox and Chris Long and Derek Barnett and you add Michael Bennett to that group, you don't think that could – that's why Matt Ryan was on his heels all night because he's seeing them. They're coming from everywhere.
But, Skip, you're not going to win a game you go 4 for 15 on third down. You're not going to win a game when you go 1 for 4 in the red zone.
Yep.
You go 25% in those categories, you're probably going to lose the game.
Yep.
You could have had this game. You're supposed to be up 13-3 at the half. At the bare minimum, Skip, you should be up 13-3, maybe even 14-3. Okay, let's just say, okay, you got pushed back, they stop you, but you can't get stopped. You got the ball down at the 1 yard line. You get 6 yards on the first carry, and now you start rolling Matt Ryan out. How about try to run it one more time up inside? Mm-hmm. I thought Steve Sarkisian, I've never seen anybody fail up as much as he has. It seems no matter what he does, he just keeps getting promoted.
That's true. I can't argue with that. But Matt Ryan isn't doing him any favors either.